Well, let's see if you like this video, okay? I got this idea of my friend Jose Lumbreras. I don't know if you check my other videos. It's an interview I did with my friend in his YouTube channel. But unfortunately, it's completely in Spanish. But you know, YouTube have this option for subtitles, you know, for translation. But anyway, so he gave me this idea to talk more about the things I like, okay? And then actually he bring me this topic, you know, hey, Javier, could you able to talk about the producers, you know, and also this combined to the question I have on TikTok. And well, I'm pretty sure you know what is this video about. So I will tell you, yeah, I don't want to put this in a chart, you know, like for me, which is the best because for me, everybody here are the best, okay? But for now, I will tell you my 5 favorites producers, okay? So let's start it. By the way, this is not in order, all right? So the first one came in my mind is Martin Birch. Yes, probably everybody know who is Martin Birch because Iron Maiden. Yeah, duh. Actually, yeah, he made all the golden era of Iron Maiden at the beginning until the Fear of Dark. Okay, but it's not because of that. If you listen his productions, you know, probably without him, metal as we know, we will never be concepted in that way. Why? Because before working with Iron Maiden, he was working with Phil Mack, very important, Deep Purple, but not just one album of Deep Purple. He working on Fireball in rock, Machine Head, and made it in Japan. So very heavy Deep Purple albums, you know? And then because of that, he got a gig for Rainbow. Yeah, so you see the connection. So it's Deep Purple and then Rainbow with Ronnie Dio, okay? And then he was working on albums like Racing and Love Life to Rock and Roll. So now you see where is the connection going, okay? And the question is, why Steve Harris and company, you know, hire him to be the producers as the first album of Iron Maiden. Steve Harris, he still is very fan of an old band called Wishbone Ash. I'm pretty sure Steve Harris said this in an interview. Wishbone Ash was his first inspiration to create Iron Maiden. Okay, those dual guitars, you know, doing the harmonics, you know, between the song. Between the riff and everything.
So what made you gravitate toward the bass? Because, you know, you love these twin melodies and all these melodic parts, but you picked the rhythmic instrument.
Yeah, because originally I sort of wanted to play drums, and again, I don't know why, because there wasn't a melody thing about it, but I just thought if I can't play drums, then I'll play along with the drums rhythmically. And I wanted to do something where I thought the bass is just a bit more than just plodding along behind everyone else. I was into people like Andy Fraser from Free, Martin Turner from Wishbone Ash, obviously Chris Squire from Yes.
So, and I'm pretty sure now you know where this is going. You know who was the producer of those albums? Martin Birch. So that's the reason. Plus, he was working with Deep Purple and Phil Mack, you know, and Rainbow. He got the gig for Iron Maiden, and you know what happened. An explosion. Okay, now put this in your head, okay? Imagine between the years 1980 and 1982, he working on these albums, probably in simultaneous sometimes, but check this out, okay? Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, More Rules. Blue Oyster Cult, Fly Over No Origin. Iron Maiden, Killers, Number of the Beast. Michael Schenker, Assault Attack. He worked, produced, recorded, and pretty sure mixing all those albums in those 2 years. Come on, you have to be a genius to do that. You have to be also could be a good character, a good vibe to manage all those crazy people in so short time. So, and then that's the reason he's one of my favorites. And just listen to those albums. And then if you know which is the bands and the albums I was tell you, you know what I talk about. Okay, so that was Martin Birch. All right, now we're moving from UK to Florida. Late 90s, early 80s. Yes, I know, Scumburst. And why Scumburst? Because thanks to him, now we know what is supposed to be the metal sound. Because before that, we had the traditional heavy metal and glam metal and thrash metal. But if you have memory, thrash metal doesn't sound as good. Well, yeah, at that time we had pretty good albums like Rest in Peace, Ring Blood, what else? Season Eat the Beast, Unjustice for All, the Black Album. Yeah, those are cool albums. Sounds tight. Sounds super tight. But thanks to him, underground metal started to sound better and better and better. And now it's a standard. For example, that double, I mean, not the double keys, but the that clicky sound started to him. Yeah, probably you said, hey, dude, but One by Metallica have that kind of sound. Yes, but at that time was most like a trick, not as a standard, which is now. Even now, over 20 years later, all metal bands have that standard of the clicky kick. That was thanks to him. Okay, but now a little bit of background history to him. He was working at Morrison Sound as a assistant engineer, probably, or the second or third engineer, in that recording studio, until the producer. I was a producer. I don't remember this right now. The producer or the record company who just signed Sepultura, they said to Morrison Sound, hey, we need someone to record these guys because we are in the contract right now. But these guys doesn't have a visa, or they have the right papers to come here to the US to record the album. And then we need to send someone there. And you know who was the only one to say, yeah, I want it? Because if my memory is not bad, that happened pretty close to Christmas. And nobody wants to work Christmas. Most of the people doesn't want to work Christmas. And he was the only crazy guy to say, yes, I want to go. And he went to Sao Paulo and he recorded, yes, one of my favorites, Beneath the Remains of Sepultura. And thanks to that album, Sepultura started to grow worldwide. Yeah. Yes, I know. Probably just, no, dude, that was on the Chaos of Roots. Yeah, but that was on the super mainstream era. But underground domination started with the Beneath the Remains, and that was thanks to him. Okay, and let's see which bands he recorded or he produced back in the day. Well, if you know Mel, probably you know this, but if you don't know who this guy, so check this out: Cannibal Corpse, Obituary, Death, Massacre. So do you remember when I told you he started to make all these underground bands to sound better and better and way more pro? You know what happened in the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, specifically Norway? You know what happened? Bands like Mayhem, specifically Euronymous, started to hate him because he said, dude, these North American bands start to sound too polished now. You know what? Now, or though that scene, that death metal scene, is posters now. Dude, these posters with his face, with a censor symbol. And think about this, how just a one producer can get too much hate in another scene way far for he live. That's crazy. That's the power of music. That's the power of how you're passionate about it, But yeah, Skull Burns. You have to listen all the productions for real. Okay, now we have to back all the way to the 60s. In the 60s, we find Eddie Kramer. Yes, this is the next producer in my personal list. Okay, why Eddie Kramer? Because I'm pretty sure he was, by trial and error, he was one of the first producers who started to develop that metal sound back in the 60s, early 70s. Okay, he worked, for example, with Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. And if you play guitar and also if you like shredded guitars, the first one, the very, 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 very shredded guitar, as we know now, was Eddie Van Halen. And he always said that one of the main inspirations to play like that was Jimi Hendrix. And who produced Jimi Hendrix? Who recorded him? Eddie Kramer. And also Eddie Kramer worked with Led Zeppelin. So that, sound of the humbuckers, distorted humbuckers, Les Paul, Eddie Kramer working together with Jimmy Page. that huge drum sound, John Bonham, Eddie Kramer. You see where it's going, right? So remember, at that time, heavy metal, it doesn't exist as we know now. Okay, always thinking that, always picture that when you see all these old producers, maybe you think, oh, that's too old, that's older than my grandpa, whatever. But put this in mind, these guys working with that way before metal started. Okay, so this is crazy. Okay, Eddie Kramer, that's for sure. And let's see which is the other albums or artists who was working before. Like I said, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin 2, also an album, House of the Holy. Actually, in the album, it's one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, which is the Over the Here So Far Away. Kiss, Alcatraz with Steve Vai, another Shredder. You see the connection? Icon, The Night of the Crime. Bro, Icon is one of my favorite tops. This is probably in my top 3 glam medals in the whole history. You have to listen, specifically the first album, which is the same name, Icon, but he was working on the second, which is pretty cool too. So you have to listen, Icon. Anthrax, dude. He produced a record, probably the best album of Anthrax in an entire career, the Among the Living. Yeah, he recorded and produced that one. So crazy guy. One thing, like I said before, talking about Eddie Kramer, he always said in those interviews, left the mistakes in the tape. Left the mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes make the song or the album, have their own personality.
I was going to reach for the Echo Send. Jimmy was reaching for it at the same time. We were both laughing because we were both going to do exactly the same thing, and we just soaked it in reverb.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear the woman, and then in the background you hear this other one, because I couldn't get rid of it.
that's so funny because you couldn't get rid of it.
That's the reason. And what's the message? The message is leave the damn mistakes in.
Yeah, that's it.
We're in the Pro Tools world where you take every sneeze and every breath away from all the good stuff. Leave the bloody hair on. That's my message to all of you out there.
That's fascinating because there's so many stories about those mistakes that are left in,
And sometimes I leave mistakes there. Believe it or not, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not. Who knows? All right, next on my list is gonna be Bob Clearmountain. Yeah, probably you're thinking, who the hell is that guy? Or if you know about producer, probably you're thinking, bro, but that guy doesn't make metal. Yes, I know. And you know what? I don't listen metal 24/7. Duh. Okay? I listen to another kind of music too. And I can say this. I grown up listening albums of Bob Clearmountain, and I didn't know he was producer mixing in all those albums. I was growing up back in the 80s. All right. So why him? To me, personally speaking, he's one of the most tasteful, and creative mix producers, engineer in the music production in general. He's the guy who make delays, flangers, reverb so tasteful, so good, like you forgot are there, and then you're thinking it's part of the music, which is where much of the case is not. Much of the cases, he said in so many interviews, sometimes the bands show up there, and then he added this flanger, phaser here, reverb there, delay here, delay there, and then he started to make this atmosphere, which is now was not before there when the band started to record their music. So it's so good, It's like you can feel it, but on the same time, it's not there. It's a very, very good balance. It's so super difficult, to explain it. You have to listen, for example, albums like David Bowie, Let's Dance. Just listen that song. Just listen for a little bit that song. That song have a lot of effects, but you're thinking it's part of the song, which is not. You know, that tasteful he was, Bob Clare Morton. Let's see some albums he was working before, okay? Rolling Stones, the 17 era, you know, the Sticky Fingers and Exile on Main Street. Ramones, yes, Ramones. I'm pretty sure he mixed and recorded one album of the Ramones, which is the Live Alone. And then The Church, now in the 80s, of Skins of Her. Kiss, Creatures of the Night. One of my favorites. Is in the album is one of my favorite songs of Kiss, which is I Love Loud. Now let me tell you something, a little history about me, and specifically with the album, with the song I Love Loud. Yeah, with the video clip too. Yeah. So when I was like a little kid, I was like 3-4 years old, and I remember watching that video. And then at the end, when you see the whole band with bright eyes, I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God, what is that? Yeah, that's a little history. But I love that song too. Icehouse, Primitive Ave. Bro, if you like post-punk stuff, you have to listen to that band, specifically the album. Okay, it's an Australian band who play post-punk music. You have to listen. So tasteful. The whole album, thanks to him, of course. Huey Lewis and the News, the album Sports, one of my favorite albums of Huey Lewis. Bruce Springsteen, Born in USA. Classic album, super classic. And of course, my personal favorite, Bryan Adams. Yeah, I know, I say this. I really like Bryan Adams. Of course, the 80s era, the late era, I didn't listen too much. I listened one or something. This is not my style. But I grown up listening to Bryan Adams back in the day, okay? So don't judge me. But dude, you have to listen Reckless. You have to listen almost like the Into the Fire, you know. The Cast Like a Knife. Dude, those are pretty rocker albums. You know, for example, I remember watching this interview when he's playing on the first song on the album Reckless, when you listen the guitar, it's like a little bit of delay, okay? And then I remember he said, no, that was not a delay on pedal or effect in a console. No, it's like probably I will talk in this, you know, by memory. My memory is bad sometimes, but I remember he said he create like a little chamber of make it with boxes, and then he put the one little amp in one side and the microphone in the other side, and then that was like a natural delay, and then that's the lyrics you listen in that song at the beginning of the song, and also that's the first 3 notes on the album. So that's a natural delay. You're the silent type, and you caught my eye. On what else? On the song Heaven, which is the ballad, you know, in the album, he said in another interview, he create for specific that song, the whole river of the song was because he put a mic and 2 speakers, you know, capturing the whole music, and probably some individual tracks too. Yeah, probably was like that in the stairs of the studio where the album was recorded, because he realized it. There was a stairs, like a emergency stairs, you know, in the recording studio, with have a natural build for river. And then he was thinking, probably this song is like that specific river. He didn't, you know, could achieve it with at the time with a river, you know, they have at the studio, you know, those lexicons, you know, probably he was thinking in a different way. And then, hey, you know what? Probably the river on the streets is going to work. And then that's the river you listen specifically on the song Heaven.
They went off to lunch or something. I walked in by myself, and I walked around and said, well, this is pretty cool. You know, it was an old TV studio. And then I got to the stairway, and I go, what's this? It's like a back extra stairway.
Oh, it's way upstairs? So you can tell right now, by all the echo, man, there's a lot of mic cables in here. Oh my God. Can you tell it's chamber 1 by the echo?
Sort of. I mean, it's changed. Like I say, it's changed from what it was. It's changed. You know, because they had extended stairway.
So,
A part of it
and what, I mean, was this like a go-to like drum reverb or vocal reverb or?
I mean, listen to something like Bryan Adams has it, and that's all that reverb. And Avalon is mainly that chamber, you know.
So these are the walls of Bryan Ferry and Bryan Adams?
Yeah, that's what we use for you know, like the big drums and all that kind of. It just was an amazing sound. I mean, now I guess you can pretty much duplicate it with some of the technology that's available, but there was something about just having a natural, beautiful sounding chamber that back in the 80s was just incredible.
I mean, I don't think there is no technology that can copy this. And I can tell you, I've used it all.
Yeah, not quite.
Let's put some speakers, you know, the only way you can do it is put speakers in here and use it as a chamber while you're mixing something here. That is...
And by the way, he have his own plugin. I totally forgot. A. Kramer have a lot of plugins under the Waves, but like I said, I don't like Waves. Waves, they steal your money. Don't go with Waves, okay? But now back to Bob Clearmountain. So he have his own plugin, which is Jazz Effects, okay? Under Apogee, the brand Apogee. I was checking the plugins, you know, sounds pretty cool. Not my style, not my cup of tea for the things I doing, but yeah, check it out. Probably you will like it. Me, yeah, I like it, but not for buy it. I just, you know, try it to see a demos. Sounds pretty cool, for real. But for the music I'm working mostly, not my style, and I don't like to spend money for a plugin I would use only for one time, and probably, who knows. Actually, I have some plugins bought it like that, but now I start to save money. Okay. But anyways, yeah, Buckler Martin, one of my top 3 and the most faithful guy ever. Now it's the turn of the last producer in this video. The last one is going to be Andy Wallace. Probably you are thinking, who the hell is Andy Wallace? But what if I told you the album he was working, and probably you will realize it there. That was Andy Wallace? So check out this list. The list is crazy. Check this out. Slayer, Raining Blood. Soul Heaven, The Cult, Electric, Sepultura, Arise, Chaos AD, Roots, Nirvana, Nevermind, White Zombie, La Exorcisto, Sonic Youth, Dirty, Rage Against the Machine, the first album, same as name, Rage Against the Machine, The Misfits, American Psycho. And then he was working in albums, you know, on the late 90s and also early 2000s and even today. Bands like me specifically, I don't like it, but probably you like it. Bands like Foo Fighters, Stain, System of a Down, Slipknot, Disturbed, Ghost, Gojira, just for name a few. Yes, my friends, yes. Andy Wallace, genius. He's the king of the minimalistic. And dude, he barely touched outboard gear. For real, he only relying on the SSL console. You know, on the SSL you can find, you know, your EQ, your gate, and your compressor, and that's it. He only used that. That's it. He barely touched outboard gear like a LA2A or 1166 or API or NIF product. No. He only relied on that. Sometimes he used it here or there, but he always said, no, just give me an SSL and I will do everything in that board. Yeah, super crazy, for real. It's like he's a genius. So he's the kind of guy, for example, if you give it to him a piece of lettuce and a piece of hot dog, he make you like a gourmet plate just with 2 ingredients. Something like that. He's genius.
And I would say my favorite piece of gear is an SSL console. I've grown very accustomed to mixing on SSL consoles. I use the EQ and the compression and limiter gate quite freely on the console. I'm comfortable with it. I started with an E series, moved into the G, and ultimately the J series consoles. They're all a little different, but they have the same basic vibe going on with them. That being said, I've learned to mix on pretty much any console that's in front of me. I came up that way. I didn't really have a specific console. I worked on a lot of different consoles in the past. And part of what I do is try to get the sound that I ultimately want to get to with whatever gear is available.
Yeah, and also probably you're thinking, wait a second, Nirvana, that was not produced by Butch Vig. Yeah, Butch Vig producer and recorded the album, but in some point of that process, he was thinking, you know what, I'm not as good to mix this album. So he relied on Andy Wallace to mix it. And you know what happened? Kurt Cobain complained because he said, no, it's too clear. I want a more 5. Yeah, sounds funny now, of course, but that happened, Yeah, but he's literally less is more. Yeah, Andy Wallace, you have to listen to all the albums, and yeah. And well, that's it for today. I hope you really like this. I hope you really like this kind of new weird video. Probably is for your school. Probably it's weird. I don't know. But let me know on the comments below which other producers you want to me talk about it. Or let me know in the comments below if you want to be way more like a deeply in a history of production. I like history, so probably I will do it. But let me know in the comments below, okay? And also don't forget to subscribe, to give me a like, to share this, to comment, and yeah, that's all. And bye.